those of us who were born a few years ago. Let's show those millennials all the things we know. Being old makes us wise. Sometimes we even go outside. We know about life before 1999. You haven't seen nothing yet if you haven't lived life pre-internet. Listen up, this is stuff you won't want to forget. MidLife Pop Culture Show.
Hello, Mr. G here, MidLife Pop Culture Show. It's voting day when we're filming this. Get out and vote, get out and vote. For goodness sake, get out and vote. It's the MidLife Pop Culture Show. Today, we have a very, very special phone interview. I'm going to leave you hanging there for a few minutes. We have an unbelievable celebrity, national celebrity here on the MidLife Pop Culture Show. We'll get to that in just a second. But this is the MidLife Pop Culture Show. This one's for the baby boomers, the X generation, Y generation, and you millennials, me, millennials. You just pay attention. You just might have some fun and learn something too. So we're going to be right back, right after this amazing song. Hint, hint, this may be someone that we are going to talk to.
It's a MidLife Pop Culture Show for those of us who were born a few years ago. Let's show those millennials.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have Matt Farley on the phone. Special. I've been waiting to get him on TV for a long time. He's on Manchester Public Access. Not quite the experience he had on a major network when he was on The Tonight Show singing one of his songs. He has 20,000 songs out there. He directs movies. It's unbelievable to my heart that I have Matt Farley on the phone. Matt, listen, thank you first for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule. And tell the people, the viewers, what was it like? When did you first get the phone call to be on The Tonight Show? And what can you give us a little backstory? Because I think when I heard you were on the Tonight Show, of course, the green-eyed monster came out first, saying, oh, man, I wish I could get on The Tonight Show. But I don't put the work in that you do. I'm not as talented as you are. And enough butt-kissing, Matt. Let me ask you, what was it like? Give me a little background of your experience on
The
Tonight Show.
It was crazy. Up until the point where I was performing, up until the point where they let me in the building, I still thought this could be a trick. You know, somebody is pulling a very elaborate prank on me. But it happened real fast. I got a call on a Tuesday from someone saying they were a producer of The Tonight Show, and they wanted me to perform my Pizza Hut song. And I honestly didn't even remember that I had a Pizza Hut song when they called. So I was scrambling through the Rolodex of my brain to be like, when did I write a song about Pizza Hut? And then she elaborated on it about it being called Used to Be a Pizza Hut, and that rang the bell in my head. So I was like, okay, yes, of course, yes, I'll perform it. And she said, how about next week, next Tuesday night? I said, yes, I'll be there. Yes. And as soon as she hung up, I had to look up the song and figure out the chords. And there's not a lot of lyrics, luckily, to memorize, but I had to figure out exactly the way it went. And then for the following week, I was just hoping that no big news stories would happen that might cause them to bump me. I was like, please, no earthquakes.
Right.
Both for the sake of the people living on Earth and for the sake of me. But luckily there were no earthquakes, and everything went according to plan. I was shocked. I got to New York the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the hotel. They have a room, reserved for me. That was a good sign.
Wow.
But I was still like, hey, an elaborate prank could involve a budget enough to afford a hotel room. But the next day, I showed up at 30 Rock,
wow,
as the insiders call it, and and I went in. I gave my name. They just let me in. I was like, wow, this is really happening, and And then, I rehearsed a few times. I talked to the Jimmy Fallon, which was great. He was super nice. And he told me that he found the song on Spotify after searching for Pizza Huts. So that was pretty exciting. And then it came down to perform, and it all went real smoothly. It was real cool because the house band performed the song after I finished performing it, as their way as a bumper out to a commercial. So
I
that
noticed
was really
that.
cool to hear them because they're awesome. So the whole thing was a fantastic experience, and anytime I meet anyone, I try to find a way to get that into the conversation within the first minute or so. It's usually, "Hi, I'm Matt. I was on the Tonight Show," but
Right.
sometimes I try to be a little more subtle.
Why bother?
Well,
Matt, are you still there?
it was crazy. I was definitely not the biggest celebrity in the building, and I think they put me in the little closet dressing room where they put the least important people.
Yeah.
And it seemed it definitely was not close to the. I know Mel Brooks was one of the guests.
Right.
Rita Ora. I don't even know how to pronounce
Never heard
her
of her,
last
but
name
she's
exactly.
on.
I didn't see either one of them. I saw some backup dancers in the hallway outside of my little dressing closet. But my approach to the experience was to not be a nuisance to anybody. I just sat in that room, and when they needed me, they came and got me. And otherwise, I didn't. I didn't want to cause any trouble. Food in the room, they had. I think they had like a fruit and vegetable and cracker kind of spread. They had water and soda in a little refrigerator, and one of the pages came with a bunch of menus for me to order something that she went to go get for me. I ended up getting a chicken lunch with some French fries. I wasn't super hungry, what with going on national TV in a few hours. I wasn't ready to really stuff myself. What would when they inevitably call you, what are you gonna demand for food in your dressing room?
Wow. I don't know, Matt. Thanks for thinking they're actually gonna call me, but I am waiting for that phone call. What would I like backstage at the Tonight Show? You're right. I'm a hungry eater, so I would be nibbling. I would ask for some crudité or vegetables, and then I'll say, "Who am I fooling myself?" I'll start stuffing down some shrimp or anything else I could get a hold of. So then when I get out there, I'll be feeling really, really bad. So I've already played it out in my head that the whole experience would be a disaster. But I'm still waiting for that phone call, Matt. And as we were looking at you, I was debating if indeed I should go down this subject. But as we had a picture of you up on the screen, and up on the screen it's a name of poop songs, and it appears that your poop songs are your number one seller, and which, as I'm going to say, let's just jump right into this question. Why do you think your poop songs sell so well?
Well, that's a good question. Well,
it is.
I think it comes down to the lowest common denominator. When especially kids, kids like poop. Poop is funny, and especially to children, and and kids have a lot of time to sit on their computer and just do random things, and they got their Spotify or iTunes open, and they've already searched for their favorite singers, and then they're bored, and then they're being silly, and then they say, "What happens if you type poop into the search engine?" And luckily for me, not a lot of other artists have have a low enough level of integrity to devote so much time to poop songs. I mean, I have hundreds of poop songs. It's getting close to 1,000 poop songs at this point.
That's crazy.
So Basically, it was a need that wasn't being fulfilled by the rest of the music industry.
Right.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yep.
And I'm that somebody. It's it's a little embarrassing because I think I'm the greatest songwriter of all time, and yet I'm only known for singing about Pizza Huts and poop. But
it kind of goes hand in hand, I guess.
I'll take it.
So let's jump right into one of your songs. How about if we listen to Poop? It's a Poop song? Can we get a little listen to that? This is a Matt Farley song.
I most definitely have songs about poop.
Yep.
I have hundreds, maybe even 1,000.
Wow.
Anyway, this one has been big for me lately because when people say to the Amazon Alexa, when they say, Alexa, play the poop song, she plays this.
All right.
And it's turned me into a superstar on the poop song scene, which is not saying a lot, but I'll take anything. Poop, 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 Yeah, so that's the poop song, where I just sing poop over and over again. There's some that get more detailed, like this one that I really like. Diarrhea, 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 diarrhea.
Matt.
Brown water is flowing from my stinky, stinky, stinky bum. Solid poop has become diarrhea.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah, so there are many, many more. I have 2 bands devoted to poop songs.
Of course you do.
And I'm only a little bit ashamed of it. All right, what do you got next?
Matt, this has been unbelievable. Let's shift gears here. Let's get away from the poop. Let's talk about something not as poopy, your movies that you've been in and that you do. What's up with your what's going on right now with your movies? I mean, what's up with them?
All right. Yeah, I mean I made movies since I was a kid, and then with each new movie, everything about it got a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger until 2007. We made a movie called Freaky Farley that we actually shot on film. And that was the start of like movies that were at least good enough for a few people to pay attention to. These movies are still way below the radar. We lose money on every production, but it's fun. So anyway, the newest is always the favorite, it seems, and that's the case for me right now. Slingshot Cops is the one we came out with most recently, and I think it's hilarious. It's streaming on Amazon Prime, and there's this one shot of 2 guys, both in their 60s, barefoot, foot to foot against each other. I won't give away the plot, but just the fact that we finagled the plot to get to the point where these 2 men were foot to foot on the grass of someone's backyard with this weird purple special effect happening. It delights me to no end. And then beyond that, I got a movie called Local Legends, and there's a delightful scene where the one and only Mr. G.
Oh wow! Really?
Playing a fictionalized version of yourself.
True.
You're promoting a comedy show, and nobody comes to the show, which is something that you and I have experienced far too many times.
We sure have.
And you have to actually ask the the comedians to pay the $20, the $10 entry fee for the comedy show so that you can afford to pay the sound guy. And you deliver it brilliantly.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
It makes it it's all too real. It's all too real. And then my next favorite's probably Freaky Farley. It's a good old slasher movie. Manchester fans will like to know we have a movie called Monsters, Marriage, and Murder in Manch Vegas, which is also on Amazon Prime, filmed all over Manchester. And then another one, Don't Let the River Beast Get You, is fun too. But Local Legends has a soft spot in my heart because it's so based on these true experiences. And you and I have, in the old days, we used to do comedy shows for nobody. And that's really what the movie's about.
This is very true.
Why don't you tell your audience about what it feels like to perform for nobody?
Well, kind of feels like it is right now. I'm sitting here in this beautiful Manchester Public Access studio. But boy, Matt, thanks for mentioning that I was in your movies. When we first started, we did a lot of stand-up shows, thinking that we were going to become good at stand-up, much to the realization that we weren't. But boy, we used to go up in front of two drunks in back of the bar owner, and the angry comedians that I was hitting up for $5 for my own to make me feel important, like I was some big shot. And that didn't work out too good. But Matt, what keeps your creativity going?
Besides
hanging out with toilet bowls,
creative things as often as possible. It's great when they earn money, but they usually don't. And that's fine too. It's mostly just for fun. The Christmas special was just I've always wanted to do like a Saturday Night Live style variety comedy show.
Absolutely.
And so I just did it, and it's like if you do it for around a holiday, then it'll be something people can watch every year,
True.
If you're just doing it about things that are happening today, then it gets out of date immediately. So we just got the idea, let's do a holiday special. I mean, ideally, we would do one for every holiday. We have way in the back burner a plan to do a leap day special because the next leap year is 2020. So I think we could get the gang back together by then to do that. So it's tons of work, but it's tons of fun. You were amazing, by the way, as the bass player.
Oh, thank you. Boy, you're really building my ego up tonight.
Playing really added to the vibe of the entire show. It's all around there. So we love that. It was cool just to have you and Tom back there as the house band. And then, it's mostly movies and music that I work on for the most part. I've had a few other, I do a monthly newsletter that I actually handwrite, where I write about walks that I've been on, and I mail them out to a very tiny group of subscribers. Again, it's just, I don't know, I feel lazy if I'm not constantly working on a project,
right.
And so I just keep on giving myself projects to do. And thankfully, people like you are always willing to join me. So keep your calendar open for sometime in 2020 for the great Leap Day special. That'll be fun, don't you think?
So Matt, as an artist that you are, and me, the wannabe artist. I get a lot of rejections from a lot of my work that I put out. I had a couple things that are pretty successful, but for the most part, it's one rejection after another. I have been trying to put out a project that I call a song for every 5 minutes, and every time that I put it out on one of the companies, it gets rejected because of content saying that it's flooding or whatever. But I have one out that's called a song for every day of the year, which was accepted. So how do you handle rejection, and how do you keep motivated?
Yeah, I've been rejected multiple times too. If it's any consolation, I've had to change the names of my songs. I've had to change the names of my bands. I've had to change album covers. You name it. it's frustrating when it happens because it just makes you feel like paranoid almost. Like, oh, look, they're out to get me. They want me to fail. But if you step back, like I try to do, it's like, well, it's understandable. Spotify and iTunes don't want to be flooded with junk.
Well, thanks calling my stuff junk.
We gotta
but you're
play by
right.
their
You're right.
rules
It is
because
junk.
they created this amazing platform for music, and they're, sometimes it feels like they're out to get the little guy. It's not so much that; it's more they just don't want to deal with a whole bunch of little guys doing the things we're doing, and it's understandable. So every time we get rejected like that, we just got to dust ourselves off and figure out another way to do it. Maybe the trick is releasing shorter albums. When you have 85 tracks on an album, that's usually a red flag for a lot of these.
As you would say, you've just been hard working.
So lately, I've been only doing 50 tracks per album, which is still a lot. But I don't know. It's weird, but we keep doing it because it's more fun to do that than it is to to not do it.
True.
I don't know.
I hear you.
If I wasn't working on a creative project, I'd just be like, what am I doing? I feel like I'm wasting time. But I'll tell you one thing that is not a waste of time. It is talking with you. And as exciting as The Tonight Show was, the MidLife pop culture show is even a greater experience for me. Wow. And for now on, that's what I'm going to be bragging to people about. So thank you so much.
Matt, I really do appreciate that. That's really nice of you to say. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. A quick disclaimer is I am not, that is Matt Farley that you see surrounded by the toilet bowls when he's talking. I know it has my name underneath it, but that's actual okay footage of Matt Farley as he was talking. I wish someday to be as handsome as Matt Farley, but that may never happen. But he is my entertainment muse, if you would. So it looks like we got a few minutes to go. I am now going to do a segment called Throw Out a Word, Matt. Let's see if we have a song. Matt, do you have a song about... You know what? I think we're running out of time. Let's listen to the Pizza Hut song that you played on... Let's listen to a little bit of the Pizza Hut song that you played on The Tonight Show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Matt Farley Pizza Hut song that he played on The Tonight Show.
I have multiple songs about pizza, and this one, they're all great, of course. But the one that's gotten me the most notoriety is this one, "Used to Be a Pizza Hut," which is a song about Pizza Huts when they turn into new places.
Right.
They still look like Pizza Huts because of the roof.
It's true.
So this is called "Used to Be a Pizza Hut."
Nice.
It used to be a Pizza Hut. It used to be a Pizza Hut. It's not a Pizza Hut anymore. But to me it still is. Used to be a Pizza Hut. Used to be a Pizza Hut. Someone else moved in and is doing something else now. It will always be a Pizza Hut. It'll always be a Pizza Hut.
Ready? Can we come out of that song? I think it's a riot that when Matt, you hear Matt singing "Used to Be a Pizza Hut" with his face near an open toilet bowl. Coincidence, you ask? Maybe that wasn't a planned set, but pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff, Matt. Let me throw out one more word at you. What did I write down, Matt? Do you have any songs about? I'm going to throw a real tough one at you. How about Montana? Did I get you on that one?
Ooh, I've been stumped.
I
don't have any songs about Montana.
Beautiful. I got you, my man. I got you. Finally.
I hope to eventually. As
the
the
people
guy
at
who sings
Montana
songs about
are,
cities and towns, that's one of my artist names. Under that moniker, I have. Oh, excuse me. I have a whole
Hope I'm not
bunch
keeping
of
you awake.
albums about cities, but I haven't gotten to Montana yet. Each album tackles a lot of cities in a specific state. So you got me. I don't have Montana, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna play. Let me play you a little something from from the Pennsylvania album.
Ooh.
I really like this song. It's called Best Song About Philadelphia. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm talking all about the city of brotherly love. Sit back and eat a Philadelphia cheesesteak. Oh, yummy food. Philadelphia is a wonderful city. Oh, yes, it is. It's a city of brotherly love. They got the Liberty Bell going ring-a-ding-ding-dong in Philadelphia. Oh, yeah. Benjamin Franklin saying, come on to my city. Check it out.
Okay, whenever you want to come out of it.
Oh, yeah. As far as I know, that has not been...
Sorry to cut you off there, Matt. I would like to thank, a big thank you to Brendan, the engineer, the mastermind behind the board, putting up with this. I just walk in here and say, hey, we're going to put this over this, put this underneath this. And he looks at me like, are you freaking kidding me, Mr. G? But he did it. I'm really happy he did. I hope you guys enjoyed the Midlife Pop Culture Show. This is Mr. G. Thank you, Matt Farley. Thank you, family and friends, for putting up with me. Have mindful thoughts. Go, baby boomers.
You haven't seen nothing yet if you haven't lived life pre-internet. Listen up, this is stuff you won't want to forget. Midlife Pop Culture Show.